So, you need to be happily married. Remember, the seventh commandment says, Thou shalt not commit adultery. So, the whole idea is to fulfill that commandment is not just being sexually faithful to your spouse, it also means to be happily married, to value your spouse, to enjoy your spouse, to have a good home, to have children if the Lord blesses you in that way, and to work together and not be unequally yoked, to be happily married. A good example to follow that we will find in the verses that I'm going to point out. Remember, I'm not going to walk through. I did that a couple videos ago, and it ended up being 16 minutes long, and so you would have a lot of videos and discussions from me to give you. But I do want to give you this. I want to give you two thoughts. Thought number one being verse or chapter 24 of Deuteronomy is an exposition mainly of thou shalt not commit adultery. Mainly that one, a couple situations where it may not be. Secondly, I want to remind you of the threefold law division. Oh, it's a quiz if you've been so faithful to watch these. What's the threefold division of the law? When we think about the Old Testament law, it can be divided into moral law. What's the other two? Moral law, ceremonial law. That's the killing of the animals and burning them and lighting the menorah, etc., all the various clean and unclean laws. Ceremonial laws. So you got the moral law, ceremonial law. And what's the last one? Ones we've been looking at quite a bit here, especially those with penalties, is the judicial law. Judicial law. So you have moral law, ceremonial law, judicial law. The final two are done away with Christ. The final two were unique to Israel, ancient Israel, and how they were supposed to live in covenant relationship with God. They had particular ceremonial laws they needed to fulfill. And then, since they were a nation before God, with a unique covenant before God, they had to fulfill these judicial laws in the same way. We do not fulfill those two in that way. The only helpful part of the judicial laws is to understand how the Israelites and how God told the Israelites to apply the Ten Commandments to their own law. Then when we come back, swing back around to the Ten Commandments, we look at those as moral law that is going to be the foundation for Christian ethics. And Jesus summarized them with what two commands? Love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength, commandments 1 through 4, and then love your neighbor as yourself, commandments 5 through 10. So let me look at one verse here talking about being happily married. Do not commit adultery. Let's go further than that, than just not committing adultery. Let's make sure we enjoy our spouse. Verse 5, we're told, when a man is newly married, he shall not go out with the army or be liable for any other public duty. He shall be free at home 1 year to be happy with his wife, whom he has taken. One of the major reasons for getting married is for procreation. Obviously, there's a great relationship between the husband and wife. They're making a new family together. But integral to that, biologically, God created us, is for life, is for procreation, is to have children. And so if somebody gets married and he doesn't stay with his wife, but he goes off to war and potentially can do what? Die at war. Then this would be not valuing the procreation ability of the man. You got to, again, put on your ancient Near Eastern context thinking. You got to think like an ancient person. And so this is why to say, hey, go home and be happily married. So how can we apply that to our own situation? Perhaps even this war situation could be one that could be applied to our situation. But how can we make sure that we are being happy, that we are not removing ourselves from the woman that we have married, the man that we have married? How can we make sure that we're spending time with them and not endangering ourselves and endangering our relationship with our spouse? Be happy with the wife whom he has taken. I pray that's been a blessing to you. I'll see you in the next video.